What is up, YouTube? It is Matty, and this video is kind of a little bit different than my normal ones. I wanted to have a quick sort of chat discussion. It's not really a discussion because it's just me talking, but to highlight my thoughts, at least anyway, on the new update. Obviously, all the sneak peeks were released today being Monday, and that the update is dropping on the 10th, which is Thursday. So only a few days away before the big change. I will be dropping a couple of replays just happening in the background from a recent war we've done, FPC war event, which was a big war. But I'll be doing a main recap on that after this video anyway. But I just wanted to just have some attacks playing in the background, which I'll kick off in a second. But the purpose of this video is to ask ourselves, is Town Hall 9 dead? Is it going to be killed off after this post-update? Because there's a few big changes. And I think a few that are going to really affect Town Hall 9, so it's just to open the discussion up on that, and I really want you guys to engage in the comments. I'm going to be very on it in terms of responding and looking out for what you guys talk about, so please, yeah, if you normally quietly watch my videos, feel free to let me know your thoughts on this as well, because obviously this is my main content. Now, let's talk about the changes, the biggest changes that they've mentioned in the update that will affect Town Hall 9 war, because it's war I'm talking about, and whilst we're talking about war, I might as well put a couple of replays going on. I'm just going to start from the bottom and move upwards. No rhyme or reason to it, just some content to chuck on in the background, isn't it? I think it's going to be some Town Hall 8s as well to start with. No, straight into 9s. Anyway. So what were the buffs and what were the nerfs that happened in this update so far? So the buffs started with an extra 30 seconds. Well, I don't know if it started there, but an extra 30 seconds in the battlefield. Now, to those people that have got a lot of 99%, 98%, 95%, myself included, I have joined that club many a times, and I know a lot of people that have, and it's particularly when you're doing strategies like the Queen Walk, like you can see here, old school methods when you used to lure and bait the CC and kill them the old fashioned way with witches. A lot of time the raids came down to time, and I suppose some of the more modern strategies that you're doing, I've got to say, it's particularly with the Queen Walks, because most of the raids that I do where I'm not walking, when I'm like just doing a straight up go overho, I'm ending up with like a minute left on the clock or 40 seconds or something, which you'd have seen in a lot of my live attacks. But I think an extra 30 seconds is huge. It's a massive amount of time. Now, typically, if you're going to wreck a base, time isn't normally a thing. You know, you can't, if you get things right, you got the right attack strategy, pretty much any base layout out there you can destroy without time being a major factor. It's just a case of getting it, but it's the times where it doesn't go perfectly, or things aren't accounted for, or where your hogs do fizzle out or get sprung all over the place when it is a very good base design, an extra 30 seconds, I mean, that's a sixth, I think that's the correct math, a 6 extra time, so I think we're going to see a lot less of those high 90 clubs. I mean, they'll still happen, but I just think it's going to be a lot rarer, and I think the reason they've done this is to cater for the higher Town Hall levels, the Town Hall 10s and the Town Hall 11s. It is going to make everything a little bit easier, and it's also going to make big Queen Walks a lot more viable, which I'm going to find very interesting, I think, as well. So it's almost like taking the Queen Walk and just seeing really what can we do with this strategy, and what can we get walking around the base, kings, queens, peckers, who knows. Next thing, extra spell. Now that for me is the biggest one. I'll talk about it a bit more in a bit. The extra spell, the donation spell that you can do, it's only a dark spell, but what that means is that yeah, it's essentially you being able to stock as a Town Hall 9, 10 spells, but 2 of them have to be singles, don't they? Because if you can only donate, if you're donating one dark spell, then the other one to make up has to be another dark spell. So yeah, it's not like you're adding a 5th spell in there, but two extra dark spells is big, particularly when it comes to Quake Zap, but Quake Zap, but I'll talk about that in a minute. And the third and final one was the freeze spell. Now, for me, for Town Hall 9 versus Town Hall 9 War, it's negligible. It's not going to do much of anything really. Thinking about it, level 1 freeze, it's not that good. I'm not too worried about it massively affecting the game. It will help Town Hall 9s versus Town Hall 10s though, so I'll be interested to see how effective it will be, particularly against single target Infernos, to stop them melting. Like if they lock onto the King or Queen, I think that'll make a nice bit of a difference. Giving yourself a second to freeze the Queen or to freeze the CC troops, you know, it'll all help, and particularly if you're doing a mad rush into the core. Yeah, I can see that helping on Town Hall 9 versus Town Hall 10. So, but that, I suppose that is a big thing in war. But the main thing that I suppose most of you are going to be concerned about is the 9 on 9. Now, there was a nerf, which you may have heard of, which is the healers. So it's not, it said in the update, in the sneak peek, it doesn't affect the range of the healers, but it on multiple target effectiveness it does. So anything over 6 healers, so you can 6 will still be okay. There will be a nerf to multiple healers on one target anyway, but the biggest one you'll find is anything with 6 plus, so from 7, 8 or 9. But to be honest, in war, the most sort of queen walks you see are between 3 to 6 healers. So how effective is that going to be? I don't know. How much will it affect, like between 3 to 6 healers? I don't know. Will 3 healers become ineffective? Probably. You'll see them a lot rarer. It'll be interesting to see if 4 becomes the mainstream, and if you have to start complementing them with extra rage spells, ability, and you know, only time and practice is going to be able to teach us about that one. So those are the main sort of changes that are going to come that we know about, at least anyway. So firstly I wanted to say regarding Supercell, I don't want everyone to hate on them. I don't want everyone to be like, oh, why have you done this, why have you changed it, Town Hall 9 was perfect, which a lot of people thought it was, because Supercell created this game and they've given us Clan Wars. However long ago they added hounds in, everyone was like, what? You know, they've given us the dark spells, and look how much things have evolved since then. The game is almost incomparable to what it was like 18 months ago, and a lot of very positive things have happened and continue to evolve within the game, and it's allowed us to do these very creative, very interesting attack strategies, and they've got to know what they're doing, and I will have faith until the very last second. You know, I've got to, because this game, I've invested so much into this game, into this YouTube lifestyle that I've created, that I slot around my personal family life. You know, I live and breathe this stuff, and you know, they created it, they understand it, they understand the war, they know the war community. I think, are we being too rash on making these judgments? I don't know. We're going to see when it drops, and even when it does drop, maybe they'll soon change things, or you know, but they're focusing on Town Hall 11, and there's a lot of things that they're going to have to adjust and balance, and make sure that the Town Hall 11 gameplay is fun, because all of those high trophy pushes are going to be there. So I'm going to hold judgment and see how it drops, see what it feels like Town Hall 9 War thereafter. And yeah, I think have a little bit of faith. I mean, I don't know anything. I haven't spoken to anyone from Supercell ever. So I've got no insight. Other YouTubers might be able to give you a bit more, that have more regular contact. But obviously I'm a Town Hall 9 War YouTuber, and there's not many of those that that are within in the loop, I suppose, to explain it the best. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, and we'll see. And I'll of course keep you guys posted with my thoughts and how it develops and how I develop, because I've got a Town Hall 9 that's now sat at max, which is the one I'm on at the moment, 2 lava walls away from fully max. I've got another one that's coming up with level 22 20 heroes. It's an 8.5. I've got a third account on farming as well, which you might not know about, which I might start doing some videos on soon as well, which is my wife's account, which I've decided to bring to life, which is, again, it's an 8.5. So I've got a lot of Town Hall 9 accounts at the moment, and I'm actually doing a 4th very mini account. So yeah, I'm very much so still active in playing and a lot. Will I move up to Town Hall 10? I don't know. Now, one thing I want to talk about, which could be an overpowered strategy coming up now, is I think air is going to take a huge swing in this one, because two lightning and an earthquake will kill an air defense. So if you think about that, if you've got space for 4 lightnings and 2 dark spells in your army camp, you can have 2 sets of Zap Quake. You can take down 2 air defenses before the raid even begins. So with that in mind, and the fact that most most shattered Larloons are 2 golems to take down 2 air defenses, with the king and to also take down the queen and the CC. How is that going to affect everything? Bunkered AQs might be gone, because if you can easily kill the queen and 2 air defenses, you're leaving yourself massively open. There's a lot of things that, and are dragons going to see a massive comeback, like big style dragon raids, queen walking into a 3rd air defense. You know, there's so many possibilities. Dragons to kill the queen with mini Larloon, so drag Larloon hybrids. I think it's all going to open up. It could potentially become very easy. I think the elite war clans are going to have to find some very unique bases. Base designs are going to evolve, so the whole game is going to evolve now. There is no going back. The game as you know it will change in a big way, because of these changes and additions. So as I've said before, I'm committed. Time-wise, emotionally, whatever. I'm staying with the game. I'm not going to stop YouTubing, even if I'm frustrated. I'll see it through to the bitter end of Clash, until no one's watching my videos and all that no more. So you stick with me, guys, and I'll keep the content coming. Whether I move to Town Hall 10, it's all going to be dependent on how the update drops, to be honest. But I'm probably going to send at least one account to Town Hall 10 in the near future. But the problem is, I found by speaking to people, is some people feel stuck now, because a lot of people found that Town Hall 9 was this perfect sort of challenging place. It will punish you if you mess up majorly. Relies on thought, planning, understanding the pathing, and all these different aspects of raid. It was a very sweet place to be, and a lot of people have held on to Town Hall 9 because of that. But now if it becomes too easy or too noob friendly, those people aren't going to be getting the same challenges, and might become boring. But then Town Hall 10, if you move to Town Hall 10, that's a whole different ball game there, and most of the good Town Hall 10 clans, I've got to say, are modders. The Town Hall 10 to be able to 3-star consistently max Town Hall 10 bases, it's the modding community. That's why they do it, to challenge themselves on at the highest of the high town hall levels, because to crack those bases, that's their challenge. To practice it until they can do it, and then do it in a war. But to the fair play community, obviously, which I stand for, which a lot of other people still stand for, is at the end, where do they go, the people that want that challenge? Is Town Hall 10 too drastic? I don't know. I really don't. We're going to have to see how it drops. So there could be some other potential hidden nerfs, buffs of other defenses, anything. This is a huge update. They're bringing a whole new Town Hall level in, among with all the balancing and tweaking that they're going to do around that. So all I will say, once again, is let's see how it goes, guys. Let's see. I don't know if this is going to be the end of Town Hall 9, if people are going to find it too boring or too easy, if they're going to want a challenge, go to Town Hall 10 and get frustrated. I don't know. But it could be. It very well could be. But I will say, I think Supercell should, if that is the case, do something about it, because there's a big community of us war guys. They created Clan Wars, remember, so they understand it, they care about it. Just you might I know a lot of people might not be feeling that right now, and yeah, I suppose me to some extent as well. I'm just so nervous, because I love Town Hall 9. And I want it to be what it is now. I don't want them to change it. It's like, no, leave it alone. So many people are so protective of it, rightly so, because it's brilliant. But let's see. So I'll finish up this raid by Diablo, who's doing a max attack, and then we can and we'll call it a day. That's basically covered everything I wanted to talk about. I sincerely hope it's not. I think I'll be as soon as those release notes come available, I'll be sort of sifting through them with a fine-tooth comb, trying to find out any little tweaks, tests. But potentially, I mean, the only way we're going to truly find out is by warring and practicing. And over the course of the days after the update comes out is when we're going to really see any hidden little changes that may affect the gameplay. And I don't know. Am I excited about it? Yes. Am I apprehensive? Yes. And I hope that my opinions resonate with a few people. If you disagree, just let me know your thoughts, because I really want to know, genuinely. So anyway, peace out guys, see you on the next one.